Hey folks, and welcome back to Kentucky Hot Wheels video series. You're gonna have to excuse my voice. I just got done cutting grass for probably the last time this year, and allergies are really kicking my butt right now. But for the Halloween season, this is the car I've chosen to do my little custom diorama for Halloween. It's an old Matchbox VW. VWs are a favorite, of course. So let's rip this thing apart and see if we can go ahead and get it off the chassis and get it soaking in some paint stripper. I'm going to use this, I think it's a 5/32 bit. That should take the head of the pillar off, no problem. So let's give her a whack here. Looking pretty good. And do the back one. A little more. Okay. It should come off. Yeah, I meant to drill the front out here a little bit more. Now it should come off. There we go. White interior. Definitely not a fan of these green windows, but we're going to use them to our advantage. Because I think once they're scuffed up a little bit, it'll look really good and moldy on the inside of the car. So make it look like nature's taken over. Alright, so if I can find, let me grab my paint stripper and I'll be right back. Okay, so here's a citrus paint stripper. This is what I use to strip the paint. I kind of like the green, it's a little bright, but we're going to go ahead and strip it anyhow. So we'll let that soak in there for a day or so, and I'll come back out here and take it out and see how well the paint stripper's done, and when I do, I'll bring you guys back. I'll talk to you all later. Alright, so it is the next day, and took the body out of the citrus stripper, and it did a good job getting all the paint off of it. Honestly didn't realize it just was a ragtop casting. So I think what I'm going to do next is take my sander and just sand that smooth. I thought at first about cutting it out. I think I'm just going to sand it smooth and go from there. Everything else on the casting looks really nice though. I like it. And of course we can't keep this yellow. So I think what I want to do is cut off the little trailer hitch thing there. And I'll probably paint this flat black, maybe, I don't know. I'll see what I've got, but it'll probably be black. And eventually, I'll have to paint the inside. I don't want it white. So it'll probably end up black as well. But anyhow, I'll go ahead and do this. Sand off the rag top. And paint this, and I'll bring you guys back. Alright, so as you can see, I got the rag top part of the roof sanded down pretty good. A couple little lines there, but it won't matter once I get it primed and everything. But I think that'll look a lot better. Also went ahead and took the hitch off the back of the chassis and got it a good coat of the black primer, the Krylon black primer. Probably get another coat here before I go in for the evening, but they covered the plastic pretty good. So I think next what I'll do is drill out the pillars for my self-tapping screws for when I put it back together. And once I do that, then I'll go ahead and prime it. I haven't decided on what the main color is going to be yet. I've got a variety of different paints to choose from, but since it's kind of going to be a Halloween theme or a fall theme, I'll probably go with like an orange or something like that. But these windows, I'm not sure about yet. Like I said, I'm going to scuff them up, crack them up real good, make them kind of look like they're moldy and old and moldy and got algae and everything else growing on it. So I don't know, we'll make the best of it that we can. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these prepped, and then when I go to drill them back, I'll bring you guys back. I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, so it's actually a couple days later. I'm gonna take this 5/64 drill bit and go ahead and drill out these pillars for the self-tapping screws. And then when I'm done drilling them out, I'll take the Dremel and just kind of cut the tops off just a little bit so the chassis goes back on easily. Again, this is something you need to take your time with. You don't want to drill through your finger. Ask me how I know. But take your time and go slow, and it should be no big deal.
Okay, this one. I'll do this one.
Okay, now that the pillars are drilled, I'm going to take this burr bit and just knock the top off the pillars just a little bit. Take the flange off. You can use a sanding wheel for this, or even a file. So you can see it just kind of flattens it up, makes it go back with the chassis a little easier. So when we're ready, we'll just put some self-tappers in there, hold everything together. Okay. I think I'm going to paint the body this color here. I found it and it kind of looks kind of autumn, Halloweenish. I've got a little bit left, so I think I'll use that, but first I have to prime the body. I've got some primer here somewhere, but I'm going to clean this up and I'll prime it, give it its first coat, and I'll bring you guys back and let you see what it looks like. Talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, so as you can see, I've got a good coat of primer on the body. It's dried and actually looks really good. I like this casting. It's one of the nicer castings that I've seen for these old Beetles. I'm almost tempted to leave it this color, but I think I'm still going to go ahead and give it a good coat, maybe 2 coats of this, and let it dry thoroughly before I proceed. But I'll give it a good, at least 1 coat, probably 2 of this, and I'll bring you guys back to see what it looks like, and you can tell me what you think, if it's a good color or not. I think it's good for fall, so I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready. Talk to you later. Alright, so I gave the body 2 coats of the paint, and it turned out really well for a rattle can paint job. It's nice and shiny, good even coats, very smooth. I almost hate to do anything to it, but I think I'm going to give this some thought. We'll let this cure, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready. Alright, so as you can see, I went ahead and painted the interior flat black. I think that'll look good. Since I am going to use these green windows, I am going to cut out for the 2-door windows. I'm going to cut them out so it'll be open. And then we'll dull this down and again try to make it look like mold and stuff growing inside the car. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to try these cutters and see if I can cut right up through this plastic without it busting, and then clean it up with this burr bit. So let's see what happens here. Okay, it's a good start. Okay, that was fairly easy. Let's try the other side. I already marked with the X-Acto knife where I need to cut. Okay, might not even have to take the barb bit to it. Let's take the body back off here. Go down in there. Yeah, I'll clean it up just a little bit, but that fits pretty good. Alright, on to the next step. I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to move on. Talk to you in a bit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take this, I think it's 1500 grit. Yeah, 1500 grit sandpaper, and just dull up these windows so they're not as shiny. Will kind of help hide some of the imperfections in this. Yeah, see how that dulls it up pretty good. Okay, I'll finish this up and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready for the next step. See you in a bit. Okay, so this is where we're at so far. Everything that's going to be painted on the body and chassis is painted. Next, what I think I'll do, you see how the glass turned out really nice. Just scuffing it up made it look a lot better, and cutting out the windows for the doors. Next, I'll probably start adding the highlights, like the headlights, tail lights. I'll paint the bumpers. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and put the self-tappers in to secure the body to the chassis, and then we'll start weathering it up and make it look old. But yeah, so far I really like the way it's turning out. Pretty nice. Okay, I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready for the next step. Okay, off camera, I went ahead and created some pumpkins that I'm going to use with the little diorama here. And basically all I did was took some paper towel, rolled it up in a ball, put a little wood glue on it, kept rolling it till it kind of dried up, then set them aside to cure permanently. Then I give everything a coat of this orange. What is it called? Gloss Real Orange. And then a little spritz of this satin Hunt Club green just on the top, and then finished it off with this gloss marigold just on the top, and that kind of gives you the pumpkin look. And once the paint cures, I'll take some either wire or string and create the vines to connect them all together, and then they'll go with the diorama once I get start putting it together. But I did this off camera because I was kind of bored, but this gives you an idea. It's very easy to do. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, next thing I want to do here is add some stems to our pumpkins. And I'm just using this wire. I can't remember exactly what size it is, 30 gauge. And I'll just cut a few pieces off of it. And then I'll curl it up when I'm finished. But basically all I'm going to do, got a can of activator here, and I should be able to just put a drop of super glue right there on top, spray the wire with the activator, and put it in place. That doesn't seem to want to work. Okay. I'll just hold it in place here then. Now it's working. It just took a second. So I'll do that to all 4 of them, and I'll bring you back when I'm done and show you what I'm going to do next. I'm going to start preparing the base, the display here. So I'll finish these up. I'll bring you guys back in just a second. Okay, now we have our pumpkin set aside. So what I'm going to do is take the base for the display and some sandpaper here. What is this? 150 grit. Just something abrasive enough to scuff up the base a little bit. This will help the glue adhere a little bit better. Don't have to go crazy with it, just a good scuffing. And then next, I'm going to tape it down on my work plate here. And then we'll apply the glue and my backyard dirt solution. So let me get this taped down and I'll bring you guys back in just a second. Okay, now that the base is secured to my work plate here, I'm going to put on a generous amount of wood glue. Give it a good coating here. And I forgot my paintbrush to spread it, so I'll use the next best thing, my finger here. Just get it even across the base here. Okay, and that's all there is to that. That's what the towel's for. Okay, so now I'll take my sifted backyard dirt here and give it apply a generous amount to everything. There's a nice little vine I can use later. I usually apply this fairly thick because in about 20 minutes I'm going to come back and apply some isopropyl alcohol and my mixture of glue and water just to seal everything in real good, because you don't want to leave this tape on there too long. Okay, that's it. So we'll let that sit for about 20 minutes and I'll come back and apply some isopropyl alcohol and my water and glue mixture, let it sit for another half hour or so, and take the tape off. So I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to do the next step. Okay, now that it's set for about 20 minutes, I'll take the isopropyl alcohol, give it a good spritz here, and then I'll take my mixture of glue and water. It's 3 parts water, 1 part glue, and just soak everything down real good. That should do it. We'll go ahead and apply just a little bit of the fine dirt, help soak up the water and glue. Okay, now again, you don't want to leave this tape on there too long, so in about 20 minutes I'll come back and I'll remove the tape, and then I'll be ready for the next step. That'll probably be tomorrow, so I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready. Talk to you later. Okay, it's time to go ahead and start putting some highlights on the body and this chassis. And I'm going to start with the silver. I've already shaken it up. I haven't used this paint forever, so hopefully it's still good. So I'm just going to throw in some headlight rings here. I just use this cotton swab, load it down with paint, and just keep pressing it in till it's covered. Now, I'm definitely not a very good painter, so just bear with me here. That looks pretty good. I'll go ahead and hit these door handles as well. Try not to get too much paint on this. A little bit goes a long way. There. I'll set this aside to dry, to cure. Let's set this aside. Now I'll go ahead and paint these bumpers. Well, I got the chrome silver paint out. Of course, these don't have to be perfect because they're going to be covered with some weathering here in a little bit. Okay, do the back bumper. Okay, that should be good for the silver. If any of it shows where I overpainted, I can always go back and touch it up. But like I said, it's not really going to matter because a lot of this is going to be weathered later anyhow. So, all right, so I'll set this aside to cure, and I'll bring you guys back for the next step. See you in a bit. Okay, with the silver paint cured now, I'm going to try to add some tail lights to the body here. This should be interesting. I'm going to use my stick again that I used to put on the headlights. Just dab it in there and just try to hit the bottom. The paint is about gone. Okay, there's that one. Hope I can hit the thing. This is very tedious. Oh, come on, just a little more. Okay, that's as good as we're gonna get it. That looks pretty good though. Okay, so I'm gonna set that aside and let it cure. As you can see, the base turned out pretty good. I got to fill in a couple little spots there, but nothing bad. Then I'll add some grass, some weeds, install the pumpkins, and we'll go from there. So one step at a time. But I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to do the next step. See you in a bit. Okay, so we should be safe to go ahead and put the body back to the chassis. One thing I did do off camera was to super glue the wheels in place. I don't want them to turn because I'm going to be painting them later. So hopefully that paint is cured, or that glue is cured. Let's see, now I gotta turn this around. Alright, something's not fitting just right. Let me put the... There we go. That's better. Okay, then I'll just take these soft tappers. I got these off Amazon and the tool. If I remember, I'll put a link in the description for these. They weren't very expensive, and you get a ton of them. Can't remember the exact size, but I'll try to leave a link in the description. But they thread in with no problem. And they look good too. Almost looks like it came that way. Get the one in the front here. And there we go. She's back together. And looking pretty good. Too bad we're going to mess it all up. But okay, like I said, I'll try to remember to leave a link. I think the kit I bought actually comes with the tap, if you want to use a tap, a bit, and the screws, and the tool. But if I remember, like I said, I'll put a link in the description. Okay, I'll bring you guys back when we're ready to do the next step. See you in a bit. Alright, so it's actually a couple days later. I got tied up with some other things, so I couldn't really work on this. But I think we left off of putting the body back on the chassis and gluing the wheels. There's the base, how it is now. It's almost done. I'll add some greenery and stuff to it, probably this evening or maybe tomorrow. But the body, the Beetle's looking pretty good. I like that. But I need to dull it down to start weathering it. And the only way to really do that is to give it a good coat of matte finish. So I'm going to use this Krylon matte finish just to dull it down so my wash and my dusting of pastels and stuff later will stick to it really good. But yeah, I got tied up with some other things the last couple of days. As you may or might not have known, I got rid of my old Gladiator and bought a new one. So I've done a couple of things to it over the last couple of days. Nothing major. I put my bug guard on. Of course, my headlight protectors, Rugged Ridge headlight protectors. I think this was Bushwhacker bug guard. Of course, added the Hot Wheels vinyl. You can't do without that. Gotta have the Hot Wheels vinyl. Put the hinge protectors on. And really, that's all I've done the last couple of days. Still trying to decide which way I'm going to go with this. If I want to put bigger tires and wheels, I need to get steps on there. I like the rock guards, but we really need to have steps for just to make it easier to get in and out. So again, everything's still up for debate. I've only it's only got 500 miles on it now, so I still got a lot of decisions to make about what way I want to go. I definitely miss my stubby bumper I had on the silver one. I'd like to have an OEM Mopar 3-piece bumper. and go that direction. But again, still trying to decide. But I got decisions to make and plans to make, and it probably won't happen this winter anyhow. As you can see, the weather's starting to turn, so it'll probably be next spring before I do anything major to it anyhow. I did have a company, I'll do a whole different video on this. Company sent me some fog lights to test, the LED fog lights. I won't go into great detail with it now, but I've got that coming up here soon. So yeah, a lot of things happening, and the weather's changing. Got to get stuff done, but got to get this this custom done before Halloween. That was the promise. So anyhow, I'm gonna give it a coat of this matte black or matte finish, and I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready for the next step. Talk to y'all later. Okay, as you can see, that matte really dulled it down. Almost looks like clay. But that'll give me something for my weathering to stick to and cover a whole lot better. So that's going to be my next step. Like I said, I don't think I'll get to it this evening. I'll let this matte finish cure real good overnight, and then I'll get back on with the weathering process tomorrow. So that's going to be it for this evening. I'll get back with you guys hopefully tomorrow. It's supposed to rain and be nasty, so it'll be a good day to work on this. So I'll bring you all back when I'm ready. Talk to you later. Okay, so the first wash I'm going to do on the Beetle, I'm going to use this Anchor Gray, kind of a dark gray, but I'm going to dilute it pretty thin. I'll probably put a little more, a thicker wash on the tires a little bit later, but I really kind of want this watered down. You can see the consistency there is really, really thin. And basically all I want to do, load up my sponge a little bit and just wash her down. No rhyme or reason, no right way, no wrong way. Of course, I'll be doing this many times. This is just to get everything started. And if you get to a point where you want it a little bit thicker, just pour you some out there, load up your brush, and now it's thicker. You can do it this way to get it on a little bit thicker. You got plenty of working time here, so you're in no rush. You can just take you a paper towel and blot it like that. Like that. Now you got to be patient. You can't do this all in one whack. Get a little more on that fender. And this will dry fairly quick, so you still got plenty of time to work. See, kind of get the idea. Now on these wheels, I want to go just a little bit thicker. And on the running board. And the same thing, just blotting it off. Okay. Now we're going to set that aside, let it dry, and we'll be ready for the next step. Alright, for this next wash, I'm going to use some forest green, I think it's called pine green, and some brown, woodland brown. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll mix a little brown, just a dab will do you. I'll put some out here. And the pine green, just a dab. Put a little bit out here. Add a little bit of water. And mix it up good. That gives you a really nice brown wash. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. No rhyme, no reason. Put it on. Dab it off. Yeah. Some more water. That's perfect right there. Now what I'll do is get some of these spots where it kind of bubbled up and just smooth them out a little bit. Hopefully you can see. Just like that. See, already looks like it's been sitting out in the woods for about 30 years. Alright, that's it. I'll come back probably tomorrow and use my pastel chalks to dust it up some. But that's pretty much it right there. Okay, I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to do the next step. Talk to you later. I'll try to get one more good close-up before I finish for tonight. But you see, I've got really good coverage. Okay, time to walk away. Talk to you guys later. Okay, now that the first layer of weathering is good and cured, I really do like the look of this. This is going to turn out great. Even those nasty green windows that we started with, it actually looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and secure the Beetle to the display, and then I'll come back and tape up the display and start adding some more greenery, or some greenery and some more weathering. And we're just about ready to wrap this one up. So let's go ahead and put a healthy thing of super glue on here. Sometimes I kind of like to randomly put the car somewhere. No rhyme or reason again. Just put it where you want it. Okay, so we'll let that sit for a while. I may come back and add just a little bit more dirt to this around the wheels to make it look like it's been sitting there for a while. But this is really looking good. I like that. Okay, I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready for the next step. Okay, so I got the display taped down again, and like I said earlier, I want to fill in a couple little areas with some more dirt, especially around the tires here. Just put some down like that. Come over on this side, do the same thing. Okay, now I'll take my Q-tip here, Just kind of spread it some. I'll try to keep it off the body, just on the dirt here, like that. Let me wipe that little piece of glue, a speck of glue off. Okay, now just take my backyard dirt here and sprinkle it on there. Okay, let that set up for about 20 minutes, then I'll remove the tape and we'll go from there. Okay, see you guys in a bit. Okay, so it's about 25 minutes later. I went ahead and removed the tape, and I'm going to start adding my first layer of greenery here. I just use this, what's it called, the moss collection. I've used this in many of my other customs that I've done. And basically, you just, again, it's your own vision. You make it look the way you want to, but just cut off a little piece like that. We throw some glue down here. Like that. Get you some glue on it and put it wherever you want. And cut you some more. We still got to leave room for our pumpkins, since this is kind of a Halloween themed custom. I'll put some right in here. Excuse me. Put a big piece on this back side here. Again, she's been sitting there for a long time. Okay. Probably put one more piece here. Okay, that's what I'm going to do for right now, because like I said, I still want to put some pumpkins in here. So I don't know exactly where they're going to go just yet. So I'll let the glue dry, cure here on this, and then I'll bring you guys back when I'm ready to put in the pumpkins and whatever else I'm going to put in here. Alright, I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Okay, everything's good and dry and cured now. As you can see, I've got the display taped back down to my working plate. I want to add just a little bit of more greenery, some grass. So what I'll do, I'll start with some wood glue here. Put some more down. It'll come out. Let's put some right around in here. Just kind of brush it in a little bit. It balls up like that, it's too thick. So what you can do, take some isopropyl alcohol, spray it down a little bit, that'll break it up. Spread it out here, here. And then what you can do too, you can take your mixture of glue and water, put some down like that, And see how that covers pretty good. Now what I'm going to do while it's good and wet is take my artificial turf here and put it down. And that starts bringing everything to life pretty good. I hope I got this camera right. Hope you can see. And we're just going to give it a little bit of grass like that. That's all. Okay, while that's good and wet, let's go ahead and place our pumpkins. I'll pour out just a little bit of glue here, like that. And put a pumpkin there. Don't worry about the stems just yet. We want to get these in place and get them dry or cured. Then we'll worry about the stems later. All right. Daggone it, get up there. There's always one. Okay. So we'll keep those there. See any little grass I got up here? It's fine, just leave it there. Makes it look like it got moss growing on it. Okay. I think we'll want to leave that like that. I don't think we need any more pumpkins. And then once this cures a little bit and dries, I'll route the stems where I want them and then paint them a little bit. So for now, we're going to leave it like that. We'll let that cure and I'll bring you guys back in a sec. Just one quick FYI. I mentioned this in a previous video I did a few years ago. With your finish here, if you spray some of the alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol, you see how it fades the paint even more, giving it even a more weathered look, like it's been beaten out in the sun forever. I did go ahead and add one more pumpkin, so I'm going to let this sit overnight, and then once everything's cured, I may have one or two other things to add to it, but this is pretty much done. Look what it did to the windshield there, the glass. That's what the alcohol does to it after you've given it a good clear coat of the matte paint. It really looks like it's been sitting there for a long time. Yeah, that's really hard to replicate and look good, but I like that. So anyhow, let's let this sit overnight. We'll come back tomorrow, kind of touch up the pumpkins a little bit. We'll route the stems, and we'll probably call this one done, just in time for Halloween. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so I thought I was done for this evening, but there's one more thing I want to add. I usually use sage, and I don't have any, but this celery seed should work pretty good for what I want to do. I want to add some right in this little area here. So basically what I want to do is pour some out here in my hand. And just put it down there like that. And actually that should be enough right there. Give it some spray of alcohol. And then my mixture of glue and water. Okay, now I'm done. We'll let that set up and we'll bring you guys back tomorrow. Okay, so it is the next day. Everything is cured and I'm ready to get this thing completed. I did come across one of the signs that I've made for other projects. This is a private property sign. So I think I'm going to add that to the diorama as well. And then I got to cut the stems from the pumpkins and route them. But I gotta get close, and it's kind of hard to do with the camera on my head here. So let me go ahead and get this mounted, get the stems on the pumpkins cut, and we should be able to call this complete. We'll try to get some good pictures. Okay, I'll bring you guys back in just a bit. All right, everything's in place, and I think we're gonna call this one done. This is probably one of my favorite ones I've done, and I really miss doing these as often as I used to. I just haven't had time. But I always like to do one around Halloween, just for the season and everything. But the weathering on this looks really good. I'm very pleased with the way everything turned out. You'd never know those windows were actually green. That effect really went well with this one. So with that, I think we're going to call this complete. I'm going to take a few pictures to create a thumbnail and get this uploaded to YouTube. I really hope you guys enjoyed this project, and thanks for hanging around to the end. If you're not already subscribed, we'd certainly appreciate if you would give the video a thumbs up, and look forward to more projects in the future. We got some Jeep projects coming up here soon, so get ready for that. Again, thanks for watching. I really hope you like this one. Like I said, this is one of my favorites. Okay, I'll talk to you guys next time. Have a good Halloween.